Hey, Macarena.
Hey, I made it.
Josh in one clap turned into like us doing a Mexican hat dance or some shit. I don't know what's going on, but welcome to Murder Moose, part of the Slash and Cast Podcast Network. Yeah. Josh, what the fuck is up, my dude? How you doing, buddy?
You know, I don't even know what day it is.
Yeah.
It's that weird time. This is like the triangle of the year. It's that time in between Christmas and New Year's when nobody has any concept of time, regardless of what year it is. So now that it's 2020 and it's the fucking triangle of the year, I am in a weird vortex that I have no idea how to get out of, and there's 4 feet of snow, and the car's getting stuck. It's a weird time, period.
Yeah. I was going to say, you were talking about your car getting all stuck, and it is a weird time, and it's 2020 on top of all that. And it just kind of makes sense that 2020 wouldn't, like, 2020 needs to go out with a bang, and 2020 has been already fucked up enough. So here we are with everything going completely rando. I don't know what day it is either. I had to go to myself like multiple times today. It is Wednesday, right?
I missed Garbage Day after Christmas. And
it's
just
Garbage Day!
Garbage Day! Which is honestly, you have no idea the amount of anxiety. Waking up and hearing it 2 doors down and going, no, fuck, show me. And you'd run down. There's like 4 feet of snow. There's no way. I can't even open my gate to get, come on, man. The amount of, it is a stressful time in my life right now. I've got garbage up to here. And
you have 2 small children,
yes.
A 6-year-old and a soon-to-be 2-year-old, right?
Yes.
So, you had, I'm assuming there was and a wife, so I'm assuming you had a shit ton of wrapping paper and boxes and shit you had to throw out. Yeah. And you're just like, no. It actually may be at the point in your life now where you just may have to burn your house down to get rid of that garbage because you've gone to a point where you're never getting all that garbage out.
Well, we have a front patio, so if you've watched I did a renovation video on my YouTube channel, and I filled that whole front thing with garbage. But that's what I did when I first moved into this house and renovated the top 2 floors. I just used it as a garbage dump, and then once I was done, you haul it to the dump, and that's it's not that bad at Christmas, but at least I have that space that's kind of out of the way, and I can use it like that. So whatever. Yeah, not a big deal, but still.
Yeah, we do our recyclables every 2 weeks, so it's like we're sitting there, and I'm like, God damn it, why are there recyclables on the? They weren't this week because our garbage day is Monday, so it was like. That's when you have all these goddamn cardboard boxes from Christmas and shit. You're like, no. And you're sitting at home. I mean, not that we're not sitting at home all the time now, but you're sitting at home and drinking cans of. I've been drinking lots of seltzer water because I'm an old man apparently. So all that happens. I understand your pain though. I've been attempting to stream the shit show of a game that is Deadly Premonition.
I've never heard of it.
One of the biggest B-movie games of all time that is it's like Twin Peaks.
Oh, nice.
But with really bad everything. The cameras are bad. I've been playing on an Xbox One controller, and if I want to move the camera left or right, I have to hit up and down on the second joystick to move the camera left or right. It's backwards for some reason, and the game has hard crashed my stream 3 times in the last 2 days, to the point where I had to reboot my machine to make my machine usable.
Well, why would you want to play that then?
Well, I kind of gave up on it at this point yesterday because I was streaming it, and the game's it was a disaster of a game, but it's entertaining to sit there and stream it because it's insanity of this really bad horror game,
right?
And and now I see Josh's drum sets and his thing. So okay. So that's been my last couple of days, but it's been weird. Go back to work next week. So I've had all this week off. I am like you. I don't know where the fuck I am. I think it's like you said, the triangle, and I think you really mean it's the Bermuda Triangle of
No,
chaos.
it's just the triangle.
The triangle,
Yeah,
the
it's just a
death
triangle.
triangle,
It's just a
the
triangle upside down.
death triangle.
You know what a
which
triangle upside down is, right?
a triangle.
A pussy. Come on. Haven't you ever seen Ready to Rumble? A triangle upside down is a pussy.
I actually have never seen Ready to
Dude,
Rumble,
I love that
even
movie.
though that movie was why David Arquette won the WCW
I know.
championship.
And oh, dude, he has this new documentary out covering his, because he is now a laughing stock in the wrestling community, right? Because of that whole thing, that movie, and then him and that whole debacle. He's
wrestling now. He's wrestling in the independent circuit.
I know he is, but he also did it to. He has a documentary that covers this whole thing. He's trying to get his like mojo back in that world, right? Like he wants them to respect him in the world because he didn't do it to be a laughing stock. He did it because he loves it and blah, blah, blah. So it actually looks very interesting. And it came to Calgary. There was doing like a drive-in theater thing for COVID friendly, like viewings of shit. And I missed my opportunity to see it, but I really want to check that one out.
So I was watching on Shudder the last couple days, Eli Roth's History of Horror.
Yeah. I've seen a few episodes of that. It was on AMC.
Yeah, and then I think they're both owned by the same company.
Okay.
Which is actually, I think Amazon owns them somehow, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think probably that sounds about right, you know.
Yeah. Amazon owns everything. I just saw they're giving out prescriptions on Amazon now because they didn't own enough of the world already.
By the way, I got to tell you something. I just did something kind of crazy for my like streaming thing. I just left the affiliate program. And
okay, so you could stream on like multiple platforms.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do that again because I did that a while ago, like before, and then I got told by someone, like from Calgary, they're like, here's the parts in the affiliate agreement that tells you you're not allowed to do what you're doing, and I'm like, who fucking cares? Like, what is this? You saying you're gonna like blow the whistle on me or some shit? Like, what the fuck is this, right? So, when that happened, I stopped doing the restream thing, and then I noticed that everything just kind of capped off and didn't go anywhere. You know, I met you and like a lot of other cool people on Twitch, but I feel like the funnel and the growth thing that was happening before, and it was like, it felt really like you could feel it, right? You could see it and feel it. It disappeared completely because I put all my eggs in one basket, and that doesn't make sense to me anymore. I'm going to be multi-streaming wherever anyone wants to see me, but I'm also doing it because of the new venture and all that stuff, right? I'm trying to show off that you can stream or use the new overlays and stuff everywhere. So here's my shameless plug for my new venture.
Josh will be, if you're streaming and listening to this, Josh is selling really cool graphics and shit like that, so you'll have to hit him up and he'll give out the website when it's ready, but it's pretty cool shit. I was gonna say, I think you ADHD'd me so
I know,
hard right
dude.
now.
Have we talked about a horror movie yet today? Who gives a shit?
No, I think we were about to. No, I was talking about that the History of Horror. I literally sat through the entire 12 episodes between yesterday.
It's well fucking produced
today.
show. Holy shit!
Yeah,
I was really like impressed with the quality of that show.
Why I thought about it was because of David Arquette. He's in a lot of the episodes.
Oh yeah, because of Scream and stuff.
Horror, well, that, and he's just a giant horror nut, like a lot of these guys are. Like, and so it's, if you guys have Shudder or AMC or wherever, you should definitely check it out. Just because it's an interesting look into what these different kind of horror movies like have gone into. And I know my personal horror, encyclopedia that I've gone through, there are still lots of like holes and misses and things that I want to go into and dive into at some point, but it's really hard as a horror fan to hit every single category. Like, there's a lot of the Italian horror from the 70s that I'm really, really kind of interested in diving into and seeing a lot of that, but I haven't.
But again, that's why I'm so excited to have this. Like last night, in watching Snatchers, I was like, oh, like, hey, for my wife, like, she's not overly enthralled all the time to watch horror, but I'm like, hey, like, I chose this one because of this reason as well. Like, read this headline that I saw, like, it's potentially going to be like this, and these are all movies we really dig. So, like, I'm I'm not making all my decisions of what I want to watch solely based on exactly what I want to watch, but that's also cool too, right? Because I want to, again, that the word, it hasn't been brought up in a bit, but the accessible horror is like something that I love, and yeah, man, if we can,
it's
good
this
stuff.
movie. Again, we're talking about 2019's, even though it's like really didn't get put anywhere till like 2020's Snatchers. This movie is, my wife is often doesn't dive into hardcore horror with me, but she watched Freaky with me and loved it, and dives into things like Happy Death Day. So like comedy horror is something that she can really dive into and like grasp her teeth on, because she's really into like comedy adventure too. She really likes things like the original two Mummy movies. And this movie
those are just fun though. Like,
yeah. And having that comedy aspect in these movies is something that it's like you talk about. It's accessible, and it makes it someone like it lightens the mood for people that can be very like perturbed, disturbed by like just,
they let it sit with them. Like we're horror buffs. It doesn't affect us like that. It affects us in a very positive way. Even if it's like, I don't know, like with heavy metal music or anything, the heavier, the crazy, like you start going down that rabbit hole and it just can't get heavier or more horrific or, it's something that happens. You get more and more desensitized to it, and it becomes this like almost weird addiction to see if you can, make it gay or something, like, but in a healthy way. But, and for our wives, it sounds like, my wife, if it's a ghost, anything to do with like paranormal shit, she can't handle it. And that night, like, she'll be, like, wake up, or like we have to watch a stupid Adam Sandler movie after in order to like cleanse the palate so she can go to bed. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I don't know if I would like that, but like to have that much emotion stay with you from something is pretty cool, but like it doesn't affect me like that.
That's what I tell a story all the time. I think I've told it in here. My wife and I went and saw the opening night of Paranormal Activity. We watched it at midnight with some friends, and we were like 24, 23, 24 at the time, I think. I was. And my wife was like, fuck this, after we saw that movie in the theater at midnight in a theater full of people. We're going to buy a comedy at Walmart, and we ended up picking up Observe and Report, which was
not a comedy. That's a very
it was
dark.
Supposed to be a very dark comedy, but it's
just dark.
It's just a dark. The comedy is very, very like,
it's not really there. It's just dark.
So we went and did that, and it's that kind of thing that affects people, and it's like my wife. So I'm really happy when I see that. Like, I told her we got to watch this because this movie is completely up her alley. So let's dive into
monster movies, though, especially like they took the time, and even though some of it ended up looking pretty cheeseball because of the practical effects, I appreciated it so much more because of it. Yeah, it's so
there's this movie has like, I think very, very, very light on what CG they used, and I think the CG was mostly used for the thing
splattering stuff, everything.
Well, that and just moving around the room because it moves so fucking fast. I don't think that was like a photography trick. I think they just CGI'd it around the room because it was like you couldn't track it with your eyes anyways. But so we're talking about 2019 Snatchers. In Josh, you want to read the IMDb? We didn't do that with Deadly Games. So Deadly Games was so bonkers, I don't think it mattered. But
Snatchers.
You want to?
Sure. Yeah. After status-obsessed teen Sara has sex for the first time, she wakes up the next day 9 months pregnant with an alien. That's so cool. It's so funny, though. It's so well done. Yeah. Okay, so I love the headline, the like the fact that they really got a lot of the Edgar Wright isms so down, so right, and so like well crafted as well. Like those zoom ups and the like close up, like extreme close ups. Like extreme close ups aren't used often enough, I think, in film, and this movie used it to a comedic effect and to a very like good just the Edgar Wright effect and everything. And a lot of this movie was just going in such a like the perfect direction to get like a full flawless victory. And then like as soon as the full monster and you start the story unravels a little more, it got messy as hell and it started to stumble like crazy towards the like midpoint, and like it felt like it was coming back a bit but then stumbled again, and then it kind of ended. So I was like, dang, this movie like started off so fucking strong, like so strong. I was like, this is amazing. The quips, the writing was so witty and so on point, so fucking funny. I loved the characters so much, and every word that came out of your mouth, you're just like, damn, this is like top level, like super funny.
I literally sent you a Discord message when I started watching. Let's see. It was, this better be the last time I see that butthole tonight. And because I think that you're right. We're not going to spoil it until we tell you we're going to spoil anything here. I think that they had this really cool idea, and then they decided they realized at some point they had to explain it. I think more than I think they really needed to, and they do some funny shit explaining it, but like
the pacing is what really fucked this movie. I'm like, it had a good runtime, an hour and 36 or something for this is like perfection because it's in the comedy realm too. But like the pacing just like got fucked up in the middle a little bit, like, and the I don't know, the main hero cop is hilarious too. Like I love all the characters in this movie. Just everyone all the characters are so perfectly written. Like I don't know, man. Like it just the execution towards that middle part was just like weird, and
I didn't even think it was I think it was like the beginning of like the end of the second act, the beginning of the third act, or they're figuring out what happened and how this whole incident happened. It just
and they do those like, things where like one person like is freaking out and the other person like pulls them aside and is like the voice of reason and blah blah. But then they did that 2 more times with 2 different characters. I was like, okay, I get it. You know, like they were kind of like, it was heavy-handed at that point, that delivery of that. I was like, okay, we get it. Like that's the way you but maybe 2 less times that would have been good.
I think it was just like for me it was that the stumble was like maybe not over explaining, just explaining how everything happened, because they tripped up on it and it made it, like you said, it fucked up the pacing. But then the explanation still doesn't work. Like they don't really even explain it enough how this whole.
I like that it was just a dumbass kid though, like doofing in Mexico, being a doof, and he's a fucking doof, and that's perfect. Like when you find out why this is all happening, I'm like, perfection on the doof. Like that's still, it came back to good writing again. I thought at the end, it's stupid and whatever, but it goes perfect for like the comedy and him being a doof the entire time, right? Like
the boyfriend, whose name it's the most perfect name for this character, is Skylar. And he's like California surfer dude who is, if they showed him smoking bongs the whole time, you wouldn't be surprised. Like he's coming to school like in like and just like a giant idiot. And
he's a jock though.
He's just but he's not even a jock. Like they don't even go into, because like this whole thing's starting like
he's like on the lacrosse team or something. They say that a lot.
Maybe. I mean, yeah. Oh yeah, I think he does, doesn't he? Well, that and the whole like, you notice how you talk about Edgar Wright, and it made me laugh because the cover of this movie, it reminds me a complete
rip-off of Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
They have the like,
because the cricket.
Yeah, it's pretty
bat,
much a cricket bat.
It's not
too,
yeah. and everything else is just it's very, 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 very Shaun of the Dead, and
But
that I'm okay with that.
they were blatant with it, and they even cast a dude or made him look like fucking Simon Pegg's character from Shaun of the Dead. The guy outside who gets like just busted up by the cops and had the goatee and stuff. When you're waiting for the reveal of a potential monster behind his head, it looks like identical to Simon Pegg in Shaun of the Dead. It's fucking crazy.
Well, because they do the special effects with the monster, and it like then you don't see faces anymore, and so you just get this little image of the of this Edgar Wright. He's about 1.5 feet taller than Edgar Wright, because I always think of Edgar Wright being super short, but maybe
I
not.
love
I don't
Edgar
know.
Wright. He's seriously one of my favorite directors of all time.
Not Edgar Wright. I meant Simon Pegg. Did I say Edgar
Yeah,
Wright? I meant Simon Pegg. But yeah, it's so it was funny because Edgar Wright's also in that history of horror thing that Eli Roth did. And
oh man, I gotta watch the whole thing.
Man, yeah, it was definitely worth it. There's a lot of cool stuff in it. But man, I think that this movie's comedy is really what carries it. And if you're into like horror comedies, this thing is. I think it might have been one of the funnier movies I've seen all year too. Like it made me laugh my ass off, especially the first half.
It's the writing. It's so
the writing.
Like even when it was stumbling in parts, and I was like, man, you kind of lost me, and that sucks because I was really on board.
Yeah.
Then the writing came back and like got me back on board again. I was like, oh, that was really like well timed quip and very self aware, and that's good in this situation. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm back on board again. Let's go. Yeah. You know, like.
Well, it's funny. the writers are also the directors. Yeah. Two guys named Steven Cedars and Benji Kleiman, who I don't know what kind of filmography either one of them have. It looks like this was kind of the first things they did of real nature.
Awesome. Well, fucking knocked it out of the park, guys.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like they were doing a Snatchers TV show at some point, but I don't know. But like, yeah, both those guys really. The writing is the best part. And to be honest, like Sara, the main character, played by Mary Neppy.
She was awesome, by the way.
She's awesome.
She was so freaking funny the entire time, and like with it the entire time too. Like she carried this movie on her shoulders and did a good job. And
I really like Gabriel Elise is the other main character named Haley is the perfect compliment to her. Yeah. It's very, very like, again, we're going to keep using Edgar Wright, Shaun of the Dead things. Mm-hmm. It's very much like Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Like they bounce off each other perfectly the entire time, and they play each other for this like.
I didn't even see that poster, to be honest, before I watched it. I only saw the like alternative poster, the like cartoon one. Teen pregnancy, it's a monster.
Yeah.
So good. That's the one I was like, oh, this just looks like it's going to be a good movie. Like
it's funny because like the concept of this movie comes off like an anti teen sex comedy, but like I don't think that's truly the purpose of it. I think that they kind of set it up like that, but it's more like I don't know. I think it's about being I don't know, man. And maybe it is. It's really kind of hard to say because it's so funny, and I probably need to watch it again to like study a lot of the stuff like in it and like what they're really trying to tell. But I really did like the jokes and the casting and like the atmosphere just made me laugh a lot. Like
it's a good universe.
Yeah. Like again, it's the same. I can't stop comparing it to Shaun of the Dead because Shaun of the Dead has that tone that is perfectly like if they would have done the 5-step process where they like sit down to play video games and it's like, sound effect, like kind of like Shaun of the Dead did something like that, you'd be like, oh, okay. But it has that perfect kind of like pacing and whatever. And it's definitely worth watching. And anyone, by the way, I watched this movie on HBO Max. So if you went out and picked up HBO Max to watch Wonder Woman 1984, you can watch this movie while you're on your month because it's worth it, unless you're just doing 7-day free trials or whatever. But they're trying to get their their collection up, and I think HBO Max is gonna be something worth picking up
I
in
think like
the new year.
I think something like shows like ours are going to become more valuable to people because of the just like things are moving around all the time. Like I just saw that like
Yep.
people are like, where the fuck is Fast and the Furious? It's gone from Netflix. What do I do? Like I would be pissed if I didn't own. Like I love Fast and the Furious. I own all of
I do
them.
too, man.
That's like a guilty pleasure. And if I didn't own those, I would be pissed. If I relied on a service and then all of a sudden it was gone and I was like,
Yeah.
shit, like those are my favorite movies and now I can't watch them.
Yeah.
Well, we can help guide the way and let you know where movies are playing now, because I didn't know that this was on HBO Max. I just have this movie, right?
It reminds me of like back in the day when you talk about just disappearing. I used to watch Futurama like almost every night, and it was on Netflix. It was on Netflix forever, and then all of a sudden it disappeared. And then I realized after a while that it showed back up on Hulu. I was like, yes, it's been on Hulu forever, and now that Disney owns it, it will be on Hulu forever, I think.
Yeah, well, they don't have to worry about the distribution rights because they just own fucking half the world anyways, right? So, but that's what Disney understands, though. Like, it doesn't matter the places. Everyone is buying out the distribution rights and exclusive distribution rights for exclusive times, periods, and for different amounts of time and blah, blah, blah. And like the amount of money that like The Simpsons on distribution, like syndication and all that stuff on TV too. Like it's so much fucking money. It's unbelievable. Yeah. And Disney obviously understands this at a higher level than anyone else and is like, oh, we just got to own it all, right? So,
well, distribution's such a problem though, man. I don't know if you saw like the company that made King Kong versus Godzilla is pissed about Warner Brothers putting it on HBO Max. They're like trying to demand like $250 million or something like that, because supposedly Netflix offered them $250 million to put it on Netflix, and
HBO Max is just like, oh yeah, we can just do whatever we want. Or Warner Brothers is just like, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, they're basically saying
they own
whatever
HBO
they want,
Max, right? So they don't care.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the problem is with all of it is, it's because of it's the whole difference between distribution and production of a movie, right? Like these smaller companies use the bigger companies to like put their name on it and put it out. And like, and guess what? When 2020 happens, you're in a real fucked up position because of everything that's going on. So yeah, it's weird,
and
man.
all the theater owners fucking are like, screw your movies. I'm like, once we're back up and running, never playing Warner Brothers films in our theater anymore. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is like going to be a really 2020 is going to and it sucks, man, because like I don't want it to affect the thing I love the most. Yeah. And like that is going to see fucking movies in a movie theater, grabbing a fucking popcorn, a huge drink, and like I escaping like that is it's such a unique experience that you can't replicate it at home at all. Like it doesn't matter how many fucking surround sounds or how big your TV is, it's not the same. Like going out and getting that, it's the atmosphere, it's the other people laughing or at the and being able to lean to your friend and be like, oh, what the fuck, and like that moment, it adds to the whole experience. And that's what movies have always been to me. And like, I mean, it's an experience, man.
Well, I mean, look at it. You and I both love horror, and we love independent horror. I mean, part of the thing with this podcast. So often we're not getting to see those movies in theaters, right? Unless we're lucky, or getting like you're talking about these things coming through your city and showing these movies.
I'm very lucky in my city, though. Like the Calgary Underground Film Festival, and like to be able to have those people in my city and that amount of passion for indie film. It doesn't happen in other cities, and I know this. I'm fucking so spoiled in Calgary. Brenda is a saint. She's killing it over there.
My real point with all that is it's that like you and I just love movies in general. I mean, horror is our like favorite genre of whatever, but like we love going to the movies, and in 2020 has been. I think I remember the last. I don't even know for sure. I think the last movie I might have gone to see in theaters might have been The Lighthouse. I probably saw something after that, but The Lighthouse is the last thing I remember, which was at the end of
Did I see that in theaters?
2019.
I just remember, like, I don't know what I was expecting when I went into that, but I was like, there's a lot more, like, jerking off and, like, jizz than I thought there was going to be.
I mean, that's a valid point. There was way less semen in Snatchers than I expected. But, we'd probably go in and like kind of wrap it up if with this like preview part. Like this movie is hilarious. It doesn't like not trip like you were talking about, but I don't think
it is so a watchable fucking movie. Like, don't get me wrong with like it does have its stumble points, but this is overall a very, very well done, super hilarious horror comedy movie that I 100% will suggest to a lot of fucking people. So see that like if you like he was saying, if you have like your month just because fucking Wonder Woman, man, and everyone signed up to get that, like fuck off with that movie too, man. Like that was just a limp fucking dick of a movie.
I liked Wonder Woman way more than I think a lot of people did, but like my problem with the first Wonder Woman was
the first one was amazing. It was so fun.
I liked the first Wonder Woman a lot.
It was so so much more well done than any other fucking DC fucking universe movie that it was like, wow, DC can make a good movie? This is crazy.
The problem I had with that movie was the entire time I was watching it, I was like, I feel like I'm watching Captain America.
So what? It was good though.
Okay, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that was the only issue I had with it. You could say Harry Potter is
just Star Wars, and it is. So whatever.
I mean, less lightsabers and way more, I don't know. Sith are very, very much like the Death Eaters.
But I'm just saying, like, if you actually deep dive into any story, like, the most successful stories are the same stories, just done with different characters.
And I understand that. All I'm saying is the original, for every good thing in it, I had that feeling the entire time I watched it where I'm like, eh. And I understand.
It was just ganking, like, Marvel. It felt like a Marvel movie. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it felt like a Captain America remake with Wonder Woman. Like everything about it, from like the time, like the different time period to the action. And Patty, I love you, but you stopped it in the second movie a little bit. But the slow motion shit, you need to calm the fuck down because they killed it. They overdid it in the first one,
but there was enough like of a reason. There was an actual fucking reason for the first movie to happen. Like, she had a fucking character arc. The second movie, what was her arc? Oh fuck! I love
she was sad.
I'm sad, and now I can get over it. Well, fucking god damn it. Okay.
And the Mandalorian.
I'm very happy that you made a whole fucking 2 hour and 45-minute movie out of that. God damn it. I hate when movies are long and pointless on top of it. Fuck you, Wonder Woman 84. You're a dick.
Okay. So go watch this if you have it for Wonder Woman or not. The movie is a blast. So we're gonna go into spoilers.
I love
now.
Just shitting on movies now. I don't know what it is. I never used to love shitting on movies.
I think because you're getting old and you're yelling at kids to get off your lawn, Josh. Is what it is.
Fuck! Wonder Woman 84 was so bad. I'm so pissed off. I wanted it to be good.
I can look at Gal Gadot for hours.
So can I, man. But
perfectly happy with that. But
like it wasn't enough because like we're not reviewing that movie. Whatever. I was about to go. I was about to.
Rod and Josh ADHD at its maximum. So yes. Okay, we're gonna get into spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, go watch this and come back and listen. This movie starts off with a real bang, right? It's like the first week of school. Sara is going back to school, and she has a bunch of friends that it kind of seems like she's just friends with them, so she's popular, and that proves that point out here in a little bit in the movie.
That line she has with her friend, that altercation, and like that was like, oh, okay,
yeah. But her ex-boyfriend comes back from being in Mexico and is tanned and wearing like a tank top and flip-flops
And he says, my priorities have changed over the fucking summer holidays. I just want Snatchers now. That's what he said.
I just want bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
I want relationships. I just want bang, bang, bang. So you figure out that they broke up because Sara wouldn't put out. And she must have got real thirsty over the summer because
she put out.
He comes back all tan and she's like, my pussy is real wet now and I need to bang this motherfucker.
I want to follow in my mom's footsteps.
Yeah, her mom had her when she was like 15. And so like the whole movie, that's like one of the big reoccurring things is the mother doesn't want her daughter to end up like her, even though she's already like I think she's a senior, so she's got to be close to 18 at this point. But
the mom was hilarious. Looks like she's doing well for herself. So what the fuck's the big deal?
Yeah, her mom is
be a little more supportive than that, mom.
Yeah, pretty attractive. Yeah, it's her mom does a good job of like most of the side characters are pretty much comic relief, especially the
best friend,
the biology teacher.
Oh yeah,
the biology teacher who's just there to be a complete mockery most of the time he's in the movie. But no, yeah. So Sara decides she's gonna go bang Skylar. God, Skylar is such a douchey movie, and they call this guy a douche. This guy gets called a douche approximately 837 times in this movie, and you're like,
yep.
I wonder if this hurts this guy's feelings. He gets called a douche so many times. It's amazing.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's I don't know if he's that good of an actor or not, but he looked seriously like not all there. And like I don't know if he was acting 100% or not.
I hope so. Or he was really high the entire time. We live in a world where being really high.
He must be a really good actor because he literally looked like a doof.
I think this guy could have done all of his lines while stoned. So we have it that they're not. He's not giving monologues from like Hamlet or some shit like that. He is like doing stoner kid kind of talk whole time. But yeah, so Sara goes over to his house. They bang, and this guy has the most horrible orgasm I've ever seen in any kind of media.
The best.
And
ow, ow,
you're like,
ow.
You sit there and you go, did this motherfucker just like, is there something wrong with him? And then you realize, like, because you know the concept of the movie. And you go, what is this guy dying? What is happening? Oh no, he's coming. This is how this motherfucker comes?
Yeah,
holy fuck.
The best part is then he leans over and goes, that felt great. Right after.
No, he pumps like 3 times and comes, and he's like,
but that's always the joke. Like you knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah. It's just the orgasm is one of the most over the top things in the world that made me laugh my ass off. And
it was good.
And she's just got this look like, oh my God, what did I just do? Like guys come and then they're like, if they were doing something like, you know, this like they wouldn't normally do, they go, oh man. And this chick's just like didn't come and she's like, what did I just fucking do? Like she's like has the most dissatisfied look on her face because nothing happened for her basically. Yeah. So and then they go back to the next day of school and they see each other in the hallway and they're all like lovey-dovey again, and then she proceeds to vomit all over this dude, and it is like, this is like Team America vomit, like where like the puppets vomiting everywhere, and she pukes everywhere, and it's kind of fucking hysterical. And you're like, they let this girl just puke all over the hallway, and then they're like, okay, you could keep going to school, right? We're not worried about your like being contagious with like some kind of super flu or whatever.
Like every single person pretty much in the movie was in the TV show. That's crazy. And there was like 25 episodes. What?
Yeah, the TV show, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that because I saw that right now before we started. I'm like, I wonder what this actually was.
Crazy. So, that's fucking
yeah.
That's weird. So like, is the movie just like Cole's notes potentially of the series? Like, how does that work? How is there a movie and then an episode, like 25 episodes. I want to check it out because that was really good.
Yeah. I mean, it would explain the writing, right? Like
they know
they had
these
this television
characters
show
like really well,
Yeah.
and like everyone was really fucking good as those characters. So it makes sense that they've been living in these characters without us knowing for years, and now we get to see the like polished version of it. It's kind of really cool, actually.
Was this movie Canadian? Is this whole thing Canadian? I feel it's Canadian, but like
I have no clue, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 18th. It says Snatchers 2019, and the top of IMDb it says 18th February 2020, Canada. So I don't know if that means it's Canadian or what, but or that's when it came out in Canada.
I have no clue.
So yeah, so the girl pukes all over the Skylar, Sara pukes all over him. And then basically goes home and goes to bed.
Oh, it is Canadian, yeah. Or country of origin, it says United States, but release date, it can't. What? No, can't. Okay, no, it's.
Yeah, I guess that's like the Canadian release date.
Okay.
And Sara wakes up the next day and is like the Josh read the premise or the synopsis. Wakes up 9 months pregnant. And freaks the fuck out. And this is how you know she doesn't like her friends, because she doesn't go to hang out with her 3 friends that they showed you earlier, like the stupid girls at school. She goes and hangs out with her old nerdy friend Haley, who'd like they haven't seen. She's like, you ghosted me sophomore year. She basically got boobs and decided
popular,
to go. Yeah, and so hung out with the popular girls. But this happens. She goes, I can't go to these girls. I have to.
This like when I was watching this, it kind of makes sense. Like I felt like these were very established characters, and like I liked that we were seeing this point in time in these characters' lives. Like they had this history and all this stuff had happened, and the way that we learned about that wasn't from like over explanation or anything. It was like, you know, just from that story. And I don't know, man, it gave these I guess it really
it does a really good job of like not of making natural, like it feels native to the universe kind of like dialogue, and these characters don't go and like hand you exposition, right? Everything feels
when they reveal the little drawing on the wall that they did a long time ago. I wonder if he knows it's there, ha ha ha, like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
It gives a lot of value to
lived in,
like okay, these girls really were friends when, you know, and that's cool. Yeah, like I said, it's really well written, man.
Yeah. So Haley ends up convincing Sara to go to what happens? She ends up taking her to the free clinic. The
man, I think that's one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie too.
Yeah.
Like because this is where the like whole like the whole movie changes essentially to the monster movie that it becomes. But like the whole start point, and this is where like this is the best part of the movie, and it's not all downhill from here, but like this is the like tippy top for me of this movie for sure, because like it's so fucking well done.
That's where
the one-liners that come from it too are so well done too. Like you gotta. This
better be the last time I see this butthole today. It makes me laugh my ass off, because like they go into the free clinic and Haley is her like witness, right? You need like a witness or someone with you, and they go in and like obviously like, when did you have how far along are you? And she's like 2 days or whatever. And the nurse is like, what? And she's like, you're assholes, you're just fucking with me. And she ends up going away like to get a doctor after sonogramming her and seeing something fucked up in it. So she goes and gets a doctor, and he comes down, and the doctor's like, whatever. He wasn't concerned, right? He doesn't think there's aliens or whatever. And he goes down, and this is one of the more shocking moments in this entire movie. He's like looking in on her vag
cannon.
Check out. Yeah. And because she started having contractions, and the thing shoots out of her, but it shoots out of her like a shotgun and blows the doctor's head off. Like, he had a head. and now he no longer has a
It
head.
was the best
And
fucking like. But also the tension build before that was so well done too, with the like her friend going under to look, and then you get like the fake scare that works so well and lands so well, but they do a comedy bit right after that about the asshole bit, and it lands so much better because it was paired up with the perfect tension build before it. So instead of getting the like you know and get the scare reaction, you get the comedy reaction, which is like just as satisfying. And I think they know that because it was so well timed, and like that's the stuff that just works so well with this movie. The tone and the comedy bits always landed so well because of the writing and knowing the characters, and it's just like you believe 100%. That's exactly what this character would say in that moment. Yeah, it's so fun. It's so funny, man.
The head getting blown off is very over the top, and it fits this movie, right? It's like there's a head and then there's not.
And the amount of blood and stuff. I love using like over amounts of gore as a comedy bit too. So good.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest problems in this entire movie, and I think it doesn't start with this scene, I think they show the creature too much.
Yeah, because it's not very well done. It's kind of campy and stupid looking, but they show it too much. Yeah, and that's where I don't think they show the effect.
Yeah, way too much, but I think they show it a little too much. I think they could have cut back on it, like
I
just
wish
a little bit,
because they made him like very vicious, so you know that he's gonna fuck shit up. But they took out they didn't make him horrific enough. They made him funny, and the amount of destruction he can do is a lot. But like the terror, I don't think is really overly there.
So this is probably the scariest scene in the entire movie. Is like
this part
alien pops out of pops out of her vag.
But as soon as it's out, it changes the whole tone of the movie to like a campy monster, weird, like low budget feeling thing, right?
But that whole scene, they don't show the monster right away. They're sitting there in the lights get knocked out, and so you're just seeing little flashes of this little thing, and you're going, "What the fuck is this? What was it look like? That
was so effective. I loved that.
Yeah, and then that's what I'm saying, and that's why it's probably the scariest scene in the entire movie, and the nurse ends up getting taken out by it, and you don't see it really.
Well, that's what,
and they run out of the.
That was what I'm gonna say. Like Hitchcock did it best, but like that's why Signs worked so well up until the point where you see the fucking alien, and then the whole illusion is lost. Like it worked when you saw the like silhouette walk by. Still one of the most terrifying scenes to me, because I grew up like, and the less you see, the less you know. You get in your own head 10 times more scary than anything I could ever show you. So like you let that happen to other people, 10 times more effective. People got to understand that and like use that as a craft. Less is more so much, and you can save so much money doing that if you craft it right, do the right amount of tension, and then the payoff at the end of that tension is something good. Then you got something. But like you're showing too much, and it loses the effect.
The thing I think of is Jaws. Jaws is the perfect example of they don't show the shark very much.
But that's
in
why
that
Jurassic
movie
Park works so well too. There's like 15 minutes of dinosaurs in that movie too, man. Or 25 minutes.
But Jaws is very, very, very different because of the practical effects nature of it, and the whole like the animatronics didn't work very well, so they don't show the shark for most of the movie. So when they use it, it's very effective.
But he did the same thing with Jurassic Park too, right? Well, he did obviously create new technology and blah blah blah, but like there isn't a lot of dinosaurs on film in that movie as well, because it's just good storytelling and good filmmaking.
Yeah, there's a lot of T-Rex in that movie. There is, and a lot of raptors. But so the girls get out, and this is where as you called him, the Simon Pegg character comes in. He was outside,
and you
like
want him to die so bad too. It's so satisfying when he gets lit up.
He's the Jesus protester outside of the free clinic.
He's the dickhead that doesn't mind his own business.
Yeah.
And then calls her a
And
bitch
why do
or
we
something after too. Like,
Yeah,
God
he's
bless, bitch. Like, what?
he calls her a bitch because they ignore him. I think is why he does it. But he for some reason after these two girls run out, he goes into this fucking place and you don't see anything really, but like then the girls go to the police. They go to the police station, right? Or is that after the?
No, they're
Did they
trying to
go
stay.
to the?
This is the one.
Oh yeah, they
The
don't go to
one
the police station
character
yet.
trait
Yeah,
that that she has that is like she's very soft spoken and like keeps to herself a lot and like to a detriment to her, like doesn't want to tell the boyfriend because it's such a fragile situation with him because he's a fucking idiot. And she has no self-confidence that he's gonna stay with her if she alludes to any of this shit going on. And that's a very fragile place for a human being to be in, right? So it's not.
It's the being a youth and being scared of authorities more than you logically should be, right? You're like, this girl is in this world of fucking disaster and she's more scared about getting in trouble with her mom or the police or whatever. Yeah, so they don't go, they go to the, what's his name? Dave's house. I think this is Dave. Is Dave the guy? They go to this guy who is a llama farmer.
It's her
Dave.
uncle or something. That's where she's been working.
Yeah.
Haley's been working with her uncle Dave at a llama farm, and he knows about like pregnancy and like special drugs to make it go faster.
Yeah. Well, at some point Sarah like has another contraction, right? And you're like, oh crap, because she looks still pregnant. And they're like, oh, there's another one in there.
I love that line.
So they have to figure out.
It's just still bloating from that's not how it works.
the swelling from the pregnancy or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, so they go to this Dave guy because he had he'd like induced a llama with some shit at some point. And so they're like, oh, maybe you could do that. So they go to this guy, and this is the scene you're talking about where they like he goes out of the room for a second and they show this picture they had drawn on the wall of Dave with his dick bitten off by a llama, and it's like he bit my dick off or something like that, and it's just like this most immature thing, and you're like, you see these high school girls doing this and just laughing their balls off,
laughing their dicks off,
laughing their dick because the llama ate it. Oh! I do love the llama love. And there's no llamas in any of this part. They should add a llama in here somewhere.
At least a loot llama. Come on.
Yeah, you and your Fortnite. So they go into this. They go into this barn where the llamas live. Yep, I see a llama, and they put her up, and like the tree thing from Fargo, but this is like 10 times bigger than that, and they're basically trying to shotgun whatever is in her into this like human this like tree shredder or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
well, earlier they had her on the countertop with a blender down there. Waiting.
I forgot
and
about
now
that,
it's a big upgrade from the blender. It's the big blender now, and like I love it, like the way that was framed and the way that they introduced us to that, and like the crafting of scenes in this movie was really fucking well done, because like the cinematography, like I said, with the Edgar Wright isms and stuff, the person behind the camera just knew what the fuck he was doing really well, and the lenses that he chose to use, and like Kissy and I are, like we're photographers, so we see background stuff and whatever, and we were taken out of the movie a whole bunch of times because the framing was all set to make every shot look really beautiful on film as well, and it fucked with the continuity of everything, like the whole scene where the cops are like blasting him away and all that stuff, and then they fucking all get torn up and shit. Then that like sweep shot where everything, and there's like no arms got fucking ripped off that we saw, but all of a sudden there's just like perfect arms holding donuts, not guns, because they were all just shooting the fucking monster, but they're holding donuts and phones, and papers are perfectly placed and stuff. Like, I understand from a photographer's standpoint why it was all framed like that, but come on, like that was a little peppered too much for the visual only aspect of it. But come on, I
the
get
hand
it,
gag.
they wanted it to look a certain way, and they accomplished that 100%. The tone and look and feel, really good.
The hand gag was pretty good. Yeah. So the guy David like dumps a bunch of this shit into Sara, and this stuff ends up coming back later and being important in the plot later on, and nothing happens, and they're like, oh, he must want to stay in here. And at this point, the cop shows up because he had been following them, basically. It's actually a pretty fucking funny scene when they're going to see Dave. The Jesus protester guy is like keeps running up behind them because they're like in the suburbs and they have to stop every 30 feet.
That was really
and they keep
well
stopping.
Done. That reminded me. Well, they were doing like the T-1000 thing, obviously, but like with the horror aspect of it as well, and then comedy aspect, because it was like super tension buildy, but then super funny because they don't know, and the two characters are pretty much talking about that character as well. So yeah, it's two things happening at once and done so fucking well that you're like half scared but laughing kind of at it as well. I'm like, this is really comedy horror at its like done really well right now.
You were talking about the shots and the how they use the scenery and all those scenes makes me laugh because it reminds me of Austin Powers, like especially the second one where they're using scenery to make it all like perverted, and it was kind of like they're using the scenery to like hide, they're not showing vag in this movie, right? And so that's kind of what it reminded me of. But yeah, so the cop ends up going to the free clinic, right? And after they were through there and finding all the dead bodies, and then he finds her paperwork with the nurse, with Sarah's paperwork, right? And it has Haley's name on there too as her witness or whatever. And then he's leaving to go like check it out, and he finds a license plate, and it's Haley's license plate because they're driving around in Haley's car.
Littering clues. It's like, find me all over the place. Like they weren't making it hard at all. It's like they didn't know what they were doing because they were just kids that just got pregnant overnight and were like, what the fuck? So like the whole like super bad at like on the run, like trying to figure shit out, and like that aspect, because like they're going to the party at the end. It felt kind of like super bad at parts too, which is really fucking good.
Yeah, it's very, very like that teen comedy kind of thing where like they're doing this party, but the party wasn't the same thing as it like in a lot of those other movies because of the alien aspect of it. So he finds the license plate. So he shows up and basically at Dave's place and takes him to the police station, and they don't obviously believe him. Like, oh, you've been pregnant how long? What? Huh? Yeah. And the mom's all disappointed because her daughter's pregnant. And this is where the Jesus Simon Pegg shows back up, and he's got the creature on his head. And so you learn that these things are basically using people as like puppets, right? Which is a creepy concept. But this is where you and I talked about this. The monster is obviously just a puppet, right? It's a puppet that they're using to control it. And so like the actors, whenever it's like latched onto them, just like put their face down and it's on the back of their head. And there's obviously someone just behind them with like their hand in this thing. And because there aren't even like the eyes on this thing don't even move. This is a hand puppet. I can't, like, with no moving eyes or anything. It's just like a hand puppet. And he shows up, and while the girls are in the interrogation and stuff, and they come out, they start shooting. Okay, they start shooting at the guy because he's like coming in, right? But none of them try to shoot the alien.
Yeah, they just only shoot his the guy like, legs and dick and like. Yeah. How many fucking dick shots did they fucking get? Like seriously.
I mean, I appreciate dick shots as much as the next guy. I suggest dick shots while playing gun games on my stream all the time. But there's you don't shoot the alien at all. You just
in Call of Duty, I just aimed for it so often that it was like. Yep. When you get one of those headshot missions, I was fucked. Like, there's no way. It's too small. You got to aim for the dick.
I was playing BioShock Infinite like a couple weeks or like last week or something on stream, and I kept going, because all the characters in that movie or the game are racist. I kept going, shoot him in the dick, shoot him in the dick, shoot him in the dick, because I was like, these people all suck real bad, right?
Yeah.
And that was my theme, was shooting them all in the dick.
Well, that's a good place to shoot
So
them.
yeah, and then they're all shooting everything, and then this thing is jumping off and just fucking people up. Like, I don't know how he's fucking them up. How is he knocking? He's like knocking arms off, like you were talking about with the arm shit. I don't know how he's doing it because
He's tiny.
he doesn't really.
But he like
But how does he knock?
he fucking vaporizes people and like blends them
Yeah,
up
he
somehow.
fucks up.
Like I don't understand.
He kills.
I love it so much. The amount of fucking air cannon use in this movie was phenomenal. I always love seeing the old school 80s air cannon with paper and confetti and explosion stuff happening. And they
You think they were shooting?
they used it in the background of this scene. It's just like he's not even anywhere near that, but I love that it's happening. Like
Yeah, it's just chaos, and he kills everyone at the police station. But like the mom and the two girls come out, and they're like, "Oh shit, we need." What do they say? They go end up trying to go into the evidence room, right? Oh, because they want to get. Dave tells them to grab the llama shit that he used on her earlier. So they go into the evidence room, but to get in there, it's like a fingerprint, and so they just keep grabbing arms that are on the floor.
I'm like,
and they're like,
when they got to the third arm, I was like, "Come!" They do this. They do it too much. I think they're doing it too much to be another comedy bit or something, maybe. But then I said they did that whole like calm down bit different times throughout the movie as well, and I was like, no, that's too many times, man. Like it doesn't have the same effect. It's almost just like I don't know. Yeah.
The arms all looked real fake too, so it was like you're sitting there going, "Oh my god!"
I love that,
and it's funny like that, right? I appreciate it. So they go in and they grab all this stuff, and
I love the anytime it's cheesy, like. But if you're doing it and you're self-aware of the amount of cheese you're putting on your pizza, on them, like, then it's okay. But if you're not self-aware of it and you're doing cheese, then it just doesn't work as much, right?
I mean, we talked about it with Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving knew what it was and like just fully embraced being
then
cheesy.
Then I can love it on a different level, right? Like, then it's having fun, and you can't hate fun, man. Like, you just if you're hating,
fun.
If it's not
fun, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. It's not hurting anyone.
I'm just kidding.
It's like that fucking clown video that like the people making the song in the like minivan, wearing the like pretty much like Slipknot-y clown masks.
Yeah.
And the guy like starts off the song by taking a dump on the keyboard so it does the note for the song. Like it's
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
But it's a good song, but it's really messed up. Like, but that's art apparently.
Yep. Yeah. Oh my god. So when does Sara get knocked out? Because Sara gets knocked out sometime, and then does she get knocked out at the police station? Yeah, she gets knocked out at the police station when they're leaving, right?
So 80s,
or something.
Another level.
Dude, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
I told you, it's a triangle. I'm in the triangle.
Triangle of nothingness. So she gets knocked out, and at some point, Haley takes her to Skylar's place. And because they're the mom gets taken by the.
This is when one of those scenes happens where the mom comes in, sees that her daughter is all pregnant, and it just freaks out and is going fucking nutso. And that's the first time that the cop pulls the mom aside, and then it's like, hey, you gotta fucking not be a fucking crazy person, okay, lady? Like, we're all here, and you're not. Right now. So fucking get back down to our level and fucking not be a fucking crazy person, all right? Are we good?
The cop gets his... might be my favorite part of what the little snatcher dude does. Like, the one cop is left, and he pisses the alien off, so he jumps on him, makes him stab himself in the eyeball with a pen, and then, like, slam his head on the desk and knocks himself
the Joker,
out.
Yeah.
And then he takes he takes the mom. So the mom's like kind of out for the rest of the movie because they're looking for her. Sara gets knocked out, and so Haley takes her to Skylar's place. So she wakes up and she's at Skylar's place, and Skylar is just like an idiot, right? He doesn't, he doesn't want to hear any of this. Like they're telling him what's happening and how he's like, I don't know what's happening. And then he says he's going to like get her a box of tissues and just drives off.
He's like, fuck this. You ain't fucking me. I'll find something.
And drives off.
I'll find someone else.
And then you find out this guy masturbates more than anyone's ever masturbated in the history of mankind. This guy is jerking off. This guy's dick would have been rubbed off with how much this guy was jerking off. Like, you see him, they realize that he was in Mexico. I mean, he was in Mexico, and he said something about Mexico, but he's not telling them anything, and then he leaves. So they're like, his Spanish teacher let him do some report video wise because he's dyslexic is his thing.
That video just like everything that happens on his like thing that he's gonna hand into his teacher is just like, yeah, this doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
And you know what my favorite part about that was? So like they go into the bathroom and they find his laptop with like there's no toilet paper or tissues because this guy is jerking off so much. Like the whole trash can is filled with cum rags. But they find his laptop and they take it to Haley's brother who works tech stuff to get into it. And was it Boob Fart 69 is his password? Boob Fart 69 to get into his laptop. And they find this video. And this video, which was shot in Mexico, is the movie takes place in Arizona, is just some little town in Arizona. Everything is just white people running around, and you could tell like they're supposed to be lying at a pool at a resort or something, and it's just like someone's backyard pool or something like that, or the city pool or something they recorded at, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is fucking hysterical. But they go through this whole presentation that this kid did, and they go to some museum, and he knocks the dick off of a Mayan statue because he's obsessed with it because the statue has a giant dick. Like it's the biggest statue dick I've ever seen.
I don't know. I've seen something like that before in something else. I don't know what it was. I was trying to remember, but like I wasn't surprised by that because it's perfect for this movie and his character doofiness. It all lines up perfectly. But I for some reason I wasn't surprised by it because I've seen it before. I don't know. Like I don't know if it's got to be just like
it's like a
comedy bit, but
like a fertility goddess or god or something like that, like from Mayan culture. But yeah, he's going to his museum.
It has enough legs, man. It has enough legs to stand on. Like it's all good enough for me, man.
He knocks his dick off the statue though, and it shoots some spores into his face. And they're like, oh, well, this is obviously where the fuck this is happening. And this is the part that makes it is a little bit silly. I mean, this is the explaining part we talked about earlier. They start watching like paintings in the background and somehow piece together this whole apocalyptic scenario with this thing
a little too easily.
And you're like, ooh, you guys, you stretch this a little bit. Like,
now you get everything. Like, oh, okay, you just okay,
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, so they figure out that this is like this monster is like it comes. There's the other ones inside of her. And when does that get out? At the gas station or what? I don't know when the fuck the other one comes out of her at some point.
Well, no, because they were trying to keep them apart, but they find out when they get to Uncle Ted's place that it has a sonar and it's putting out. It's like a bat thing or something, so it knows where you are, so you can't get it. And they want to fuck, so you're fucked.
Yeah. So at this point they go to this convenience store looking for her mom, and the monster thing had set up its like breeding ground. Like it's this giant pink crystal of whatever. And they find her mom and they fight this thing off, and they go where this thing needs I don't know how they figure this out. They figure out that it needs hormones or whatever because of these Mayan paintings. And so they go to this party that Sarah's
they pieced
other
it together
friends
really fucking quick in that scene.
Yeah. You're like, what?
Oh, huh? At the party. Let's go. Oh, okay.
Yep. They're going to all fuck.
Yeah.
And so they go to this party, and Skylar is fucking Sarah's other friend, Kiana's friend, her other friend, who's a sassy bitch. and because she texted him a eggplant, a peach, and the water emoji to make him like, you want to fuck. And Skylar comes over and he gets interrupted. He doesn't even get to come in her, which makes zero sense because this guy pumped at least 3 times while he was there. That's bullshit. And I'm gonna tell you what. But they stop him before he jizzes in this Kiana girl. And maybe he's been drinking. That's what the problem is.
But the scene after, like
kid,
when he comes out and turns into like the complete creep mode, that is such a, like, I was just talking to my buddy about that scene today. Like, it's just the biggest creepy massage, gross, like, he's the worst.
It's guys will all have things where they go, the regret what they did when they were horny, right? And this guy is like sitting there screaming in the middle of the party with this giant boner. He's like, come on, let's just fuck in the middle of everyone.
Like, I love you so much. Come on. I have this connection with you. Like, we should just fuck here in front of everyone. You're not going to do it? Well, then fuck you. Turns around to the other chick. I love you. Oh, I just loved you my whole fucking life. We should just fuck here. No, just fuck me. Someone fuck. Like, so good. It's terrible.
Don't they kick him in the dick
He did
at
such
some
a good
point?
job
Like,
with it. But, like, it's definitely a memorable fucking scene.
Well, yeah, especially because he's got this raging boner that's like you could see it sticking on his pants, and it's just hysterical because like you can't take him seriously because he's got this giant boner, and it's pretty fucking funny. But they knock him out, kick him in the dick. Everyone like the thing starts running around the house and fucking everything up. The little one that had been going down, and the other one they figure out is in the basement. I forget when she shoots it out of her vag, but she shoots it out of her vag at some point.
It crawls
and
out
it's
like
way
creepily.
Yeah, it does, right? Yeah.
It has the like weird.
And they go into the basement.
I was like, that was pretty well done. Like, there's a lot.
That's where the mom was. They didn't find the mom until this part. The mom's like locked on the wall. Like the alien knew it was her mom, or
I don't know. Like that whole thing. Yeah. Like choosing the one vessel to not fuck up and be the one that like just walks around and take prisoner. Well, it has to know because it came out of her. So maybe like it has some empathy, or I don't even know. Not empathy for the mom, but like
maybe it could like it has their memories or whatever it shares, and like
there
I don't
has
know.
To be,
it like
okay, they explained a lot about the monster stuff, but then that didn't get really. But it was just chosen. They chose the mom.
Yeah, they chose the mom, and they pull an alien and like lock her to the wall with her or whatever goo. Yeah,
lots of
and they pull
gum.
her off. And that's what it looked like. It looked like gum.
Lots and lots of gum.
Yeah. Lots of gum. And they pull it off, her mom off, and then they have to fight this other thing, Sara does. And it like fucks up, like she's gonna run away and like light everything on fire. But then the alien thing fucks up the stairs, so she can't go up the stairs. Because she pushes Haley out the window, right? And then she can't come out the window because she's the only one down there. And so she ends up just injecting the alien with the llama birth stuff, which he says if you inject too much of it, it could cause an abortion, basically. And it just makes it explode.
I love that that's the reaction it had to that. I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
But, hey, did you watch After the Credits, though?
No, what's after the credits? I didn't know there was something.
And there is a scene after the credits that it sets it up for a sequel, I guess. But it's just the boyfriend taped by the mouth and handcuffed in the back of like an FBI car, and they're like driving him out into the middle of nowhere.
Oh, yeah, because that was the one question I had with this whole movie. It was like, I don't think you can let this dude live. Like, you would have to kill this dude because like he's infected. Like, unless they figure out some way to like get rid of this dude, right? Yeah. Like get rid of the parasites or whatever.
And like after it was done, I was like, this universe and stuff could definitely it has enough legs to have sequels and to live on. And obviously it had way more than enough legs because there's 25 fucking episodes that I didn't even know existed. And now I want to go check them out because I love these characters and I want to see what else they've done.
Yeah, the whole universe is really, really like believable and into it, which is not always a thing you get in horror, like especially horror comedy, right? Again, it's so close to being like Shaun of the Dead level, but it just like you talk about it, just tripping and falling a couple times, but stumbling a couple
The
times. But
homages
man,
they pay to other movies are done with taste and crafted very well, and they're not
yeah,
done. It doesn't feel like they're just like full on like ripping off a movie or something. Like it felt like they were
yeah,
uh, like paying tribute almost to some of the stuff and like doing a really good job of it. Yeah, like
and not ripping it off, but yeah, paying homage, like you said. It's respectfully doing it.
yeah,
So
totally respectfully done because
yeah,
it is done
yeah,
at a high fucking level. So if you're gonna do something, yeah, you got to do it well, I guess, right?
yeah, yeah. I this is one of those movies though that it just made me smile because it's having a good time, and with or the issues were, again, the movie wasn't perfect, but that doesn't
No,
matter.
because
It's
like I said, those little tiny bits or little quips and stuff that would come in weirdly paced, awkward feeling scenes would bring
yeah,
it back up to the
yeah,
level that I was like, oh, okay, cool. But like
yeah.
there was, I don't know, it doesn't matter.
It We just don't want you to think, anyone listening to this, that we're not saying this is a bad movie. I really, 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 really enjoyed this
Yeah.
movie, and I had a lot of fun with it. But you got to point out the little things that you noticed with it, and just to point them out. But yeah, the movie was a really, really, really good time, and it made me laugh my ass off. The butthole lines, you do butthole lines, and it just makes me laugh. Whatever. I'm a
Well,
simple
I don't know,
man
because
with
like,
simple pleasures.
so if anyone still listening at this point has listened to any other episodes as well, will know
Yep.
that we do indies and foreign, and I was like, man, I feel like it's been heavy on the foreign lately. Let's try and get some indies, but I never know what the fuck I want to watch. So I finally
Yeah.
found, or not even finally, I just Googled indie horror finally for myself and
Yeah.
found a list that was fantastic. So now we got a bunch of movies to choose from on the
Yeah.
docket, and I already have like 4 predetermined essentially that I'm like, hell
Yeah.
yeah, these 4 sound fucking great. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
There's a lot of stuff on that list that I'd either seen or wanted to see, so it made me laugh. I do have to wonder though. This movie got a 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb. That seems really low, and I don't get it. I don't get critics, man. I really don't. I think violence and gore makes it. This movie didn't have like, there was quote unquote violence, but you really don't see anything most of the time. Like the doctor getting his head blown off was the one scene that was like kind of over the top with the violence, right? Um, but man, I like this movie a lot, so I would say go see it for sure because I think I'm gonna watch it again. I don't watch movies again, so like it's horror comedies that are a lot that I can rewatch.
Like
So
Shaun of the Dead, I've seen like fucking 15 times or something like that. Like I don't rewatch movies a lot anymore because I have kids and I don't
yeah,
have fucking time to do
yeah,
shit that I normally loved to do anymore. Like that.
dude,
I get to
I went to
choose
the
one movie a week essentially. No, not that bad, but
I went to the Coronado ice cream trilogy
oh man.
at Draft House years ago when the This Is the End came out,
Okay,
and it was amazing.
so after that movie came out, that was the year that my wife was pregnant, and
Yeah,
so before I was a dad, my friends were like, "Well, we got to do something like that for you, like not even a last hurrah or anything, but like something that's like audition encountered an error." Well, let's see if it's still recording.
hopefully.
Well, it's just at the end. But yeah,
Okay.
we made like a map of 12 pubs in my area that we could do a mission of our own and do the like 12 pints at type thing.
Yeah,
But then I didn't realize, and then I made the whole map. You know, I'm a designer, so I like made it look exactly like the movie, but with our
yep,
bars and everything on it.
yeah,
And we got people to like help us with the X's and stuff. But I didn't realize that I knew so many people that either were bartenders now at these places or like
Yeah.
managers or owners of these places. I'm like, what? I haven't seen you in years. So like the beers were like, oh, you're gonna have a kid, turn into shots, celebratory shots as well at most of the places. So I did end up doing all 12 bars. By the way, I don't remember the last 6 bars, but hey, whatever.
You didn't die, dude. That would be me. I would have vomited everywhere and died. I don't handle alcohol.
It was a bad night after
Very
that.
well. That's why I don't drink very much anymore,
I don't
man.
either. I can't, man. That was like after that.
Yep.
That was like
I'll have a whiskey. I've had like a whiskey every couple of months at this point.
I don't know, man. I can't drink like I used to, man.
I can't either.
It bloats me.
Okay, well, so we're gonna be doing at some point in the near future. We're doing a So Horrified are gonna come on, and we're gonna do The Fanatic, which I can't wait for you to watch because that's an indie movie.
Okay,
Josh.
so this is it turns into like a treat because it's so bad. So like I don't know, like you can't do this stuff. Like it got 0%. Is this what he was honestly going for? Like I don't know. Is he really that dumb?
It's The Room, dude.
Like
it's The Room. It's The Room.
He's doing it.
It's
that level of bad.
It's not on purpose.
It's not on purpose. Bad. So no. I'm even more intrigued now, right? Like.
So we're going to be doing So Horrified.
Like I want him in more still. Like I loved him in Idle Hands and like that.
Yeah.
Like he was killing it for me. Like I was like, this is the perfect. Like cast him in every main part for horror movies. Like he's killing it for me. I love Final Destination. Like come on, these are great films, and he did a good job in them. But you don't see him.
And
ever.
now you have this.
Now you have this.
I can't talk too long. I gotta poo.
I can't talk too long. I gotta poo. We're going to be doing that movie with So Horrified. So I don't know when we're doing that, but that's going to be coming up here in January. Josh, what are we going to do next? You have this list, and there are lots of things on here that I've wanted to see or need to see. I'm kind of interested here. The things that interested in this list are I want to see. I've seen Come to Daddy. That movie's fucking weird. I want to see
Oh yeah,
VFW.
Yeah, I want to check that out for sure.
Color Out of Space is really cool.
I haven't watched it yet,
love
but
that
I want
movie.
to check it out. A Good Woman Is Hard to Find looks good too, though.
That's another one. I want to see Antlers. Antlers is one of those movies that. Yeah,
it came out at the very similar time to The Lodge, and I was getting the two movies mixed up because their advertising was very similar, so I couldn't differentiate them because I hadn't seen a trailer for either. So now when I went and saw The Lodge, I think I thought I was seeing Antlers, and then I saw The Lodge and it was fucked.
Dude, After Midnight's fantastic. I'm just looking through the movies on this list.
Framed looks really cool. I think that movie came out in 2017 though, but whatever, it's not like it matters to us.
Okay,
all of these movies look good to me, man. Like
Is this another Edgar Wright movie? Did he do another movie?
Last Night in Soho doesn't come out until next year, but that's Edgar Wright's next movie, and it's going to be a horror movie. And it's written by the writer who did 1917, and she is doing the next Star Wars with Taika Waititi. She's like, like Last Night in Soho, I'm so fucking excited because it's Edgar Wright anyways, but like that.
Why is that on this
now with her writing
Why is that?
It's wow. I'm so excited.
Why is that on this? Oh, because they put this out in January. That's why. Okay. Okay, cool. Well, what do we want to do? We just want to decide afterwards what we're going to do for next week?
Oh, it doesn't matter to me. Like all these movies on this list, like I've seen some and want to see pretty much the rest. So we could do Antlers.
Well, do you want to dive into Antlers then?
Antlers.
What did you say? Did you say, Jeff?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, we're going to do Antlers next week then. Okay. Unless we do the So Horrified episode about Fanatic. But that's coming sometime. So
wait, did we just do an episode? Are we done now?
Oh yeah, we're almost there, Yan. We're almost there. So Josh, you are Josh WRB on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube, I assume too. All our stuff's on murdermoose.com. And I'm Rod _Johnson on Twitter and Twitch. So you can find us those places. Anything else before we get out of here, Josh?
I don't know. Maybe I'll turn into someone that is actually more social soon and be on like Discord and say stuff again.
To turn into what?
Someone that is a little more social.
I would love seeing your face some more, Josh. I can't get too much. I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it, Josh. So, yeah, I'm good too, man. We'll dive into Antlers for next week. I'm excited about a new Edgar Wright movie though, so for sure.
Oh, did you think that was out?
Buddy,
like, oh my god, I've been
because I didn't realize
this forever,
that
dude.
Yeah, that I didn't realize this list was.
You must feel so bad. You were so pumped. What? Another? Oh, and then just let down. Oh my god, that's the fucking worst.
Yep. Yep. We'll do Color Out of Space at some point. Oh
yes,
too.
I gotta check that one out. I've heard it's just fucking weird.
So we'll dive back into foreign horror in February. You're watching Old Boy.
Oh yeah,
and that's gonna be in February 100%. Then.
I'm done.
Okay, buddy. Well, I love your face. Thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure to give us, if you're listening, go give us a 5-star review on iTunes or wherever you're listening, just to get it out there so people hear us. So, Josh, I love your face. I'll see you next week, buddy, and bye to everybody.
Bye.